Are Chelsea title contenders? Let's figure it out. All right, Chelsea fans, here's the deal. A lot of talk going on right now about Chelsea. Are they title contenders or are they title pretenders? And so I got to jump in here and give my 2 cents. But most importantly, I need to know what you think is going on in terms of Chelsea's season. Obviously, it's easy to know compared to last year, as 13 matches in, we are head and shoulders above where we used to be, which I think is a good sign, but there's a lot more to it than just that. And so I think it's worth taking a look at maybe some of the data and the facts behind where we are and where we could be, and then obviously wrap it up with a little bit of the emotional side that us fans and supporters love to have, right? It's the place we like to attack these things from because football is a game of passion outside of the commercial entity. So anyways, let's kind of take a look here at the Chelsea season so far. So we are 13 matches in, and we're playing Southampton tomorrow. So we'll say 13 matches have been played by everybody. If you look at this one, we're in third place on 25 points. That's tied with Arsenal, who are in second above us, both on 25 points, 12 goal difference, 7 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses, 26-4, 14 against. Like, it's identical. Our stats within the table. Third place, tied for second technically. Arsenal playing United. We're playing Southampton. There's a really good chance we should jump ahead of Arsenal and get into second. Now, the big caveat here and the big difference is that Liverpool being in first place on 34 points, it's a 9-point gap early on in the season. They are the team in form. They don't really seem to have many weaknesses. They are scoring for fun right now. I don't know who's going to stop them if Man City are dropping to 5th and Brighton is in the top 4 with Nottingham Forest in 6th. That's the wacky world we're in. So if City aren't going to challenge Liverpool, then I think it's going to be a runaway for them, and it's going to be a battle for second place between us and Arsenal, is how it looks today. 38-match season, so we're just past the 1/3 mark of the season. So there's a lot still to play. The good news is we've gotten some of our tough fixtures out of the way, but you always have the reverse fixtures. So you're going to have to go back and play everybody again. It just depends if you're catching them at a good time in terms of form, your own as well as theirs. So tied for second, Arsenal are going to consider themselves title contenders, especially the last 2 seasons. So then the question is, well, if they're title contenders, shouldn't we be title contenders because we have the same exact record? This is where I differentiate. Again, Arsenal have been there for a couple of years. They are a much more complete team than we are. We're in a growth rebuilding phase still. We have a new manager. Who knows how long Arteta's been at Arsenal? At least 4 or 5 seasons at this point. Much, much more mature and developed team in terms of a project than Chelsea are. I don't think anyone expected Chelsea to be in this position, even with their great run at the end of the season last year under Pochettino. So I think it's okay to be excited about the success, but, do we have the title contender tag? No. I mean, because I don't think we're rocking up into a Man City match feeling like we could win, right? We had the match at the beginning of the season. It was very nervy. We were trying to figure it out. What will the reverse fixture be? Unless they're way miles off it, I don't think we're going to have a lot of confidence. Like, do we think we can beat an Arsenal? We definitely can't beat a Liverpool unless something wild happens that game, like a red card or, they miss a ton of chances and we get a fluke goal at the end off set piece or something. It doesn't make sense right now. So I would say no, right? And I'm only looking at the top of the table right now. The other reason I say no is because the top half of the table is crazy. We're at 25 points. You got 10th place on 19 points. So it's only 6 points, right? It's 2 matches. You can make it up pretty quickly. Brighton are in 4th on 23. Man City in 5th on 23. Nottingham Forest in 6th on 22. So that again is we drop points. Any of them win. Guess what? We're now dumped to 4th or 5th. It's just very quickly this table can turn you from 2nd to 5th as it stands right now. Now we have a great opportunity ahead of us. If we look at upcoming fixtures, we have one of the best runs. So you play Southampton, must win, like should win, highly winnable. Then you play Tottenham, hard, difficult fixture. Even though they're not as high in the table as they'd want to be in 7th, still on 20 points. They smacked, who was it? City that they smacked up recently? They got some bad losses, but they've got some good wins. That's them. So after Southampton, then Tottenham, you've got a great run of 6 fixtures with Brentford home, Everton away, Fulham home, Ipswich away, Crystal Palace away, and Bournemouth home. Again, 3 matches at home, 3 matches on the road. If you do the FBL fixture map here on the difficulty scale, they're all bright green. They're all very winnable matches. And that takes you through the festive fixtures. That takes you through Boxing Day. That actually gets you to January 14th, right? With a 10-day break in there. Feel pretty good. If you can win, 5 out of the 7 matches and get another 15 points, you're probably in a great spot. And you're probably drawing maybe that 6th one. Tottenham, you could lose, but you have to beat Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Crystal Palace, and Bournemouth. It's just that's the reality of the situation. So at what point in the season do you start to talk about the title contending, right? I've heard March thrown out there, which probably gets you 2/3 through the season, right? That starts to make a little bit of sense. Obviously, I don't think you could probably talk about any earlier because Arsenal's right there with us. There's a bunch of people hot on our tail. And then where's Liverpool? If you look at Liverpool, their next 7, they're very winnable. They've got Tottenham as well. But otherwise they've got Everton, Fulham, Leicester, West Ham, Man United, which could be difficult, and Forest. So 5 out of their 7 are green. You look at Manchester City, 4 out of their 7 are green. Brentford's gray for them. Interesting. I think they'll do just fine. So make it 5 out of 7 are green. Arsenal, they have only 3 out of their 7 are green, with Tottenham being red. But I think that their grays being Brentford, Brighton, and Fulham, they should be fine. Who else? Are we really going to talk about Brighton? I know they're in form, but they've got 5 out of 7 are green. And Nottingham Forest, which are knocking around, they've only got 2 green. So they're in a rough run of it. It's going to be fascinating. But I do think potentially at the end of January, you're going to take a big step in the right direction in terms of being open to talking about it. If we can win those matches, start to pull away. And I want to see that separation from 2nd and 3rd to 4th and 5th place. If we can start to build a buffer there, and it's very clearly Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea, something of that effect, then I think you start to have it. It's a young team. I don't think they want to talk about it. Cole Palmer in the post-match presser, kind of laughed it off. The title talk says, no, we're just starting to play. But that's the thing. If you're just starting and you're tied for 2nd, Cole, go on a run. And then you might accidentally end up exactly where we think you could. So I just think that's the interesting part with all this in terms of how you can play it out. So anyways, from there, my last idea really is just looking at last season, right? So last season at week 13, Arsenal were in first on 30 points, Manchester City second on 29, Liverpool third on 28, Villa in 4th on 28. We're only at 25, right? So Liverpool are ahead of where City were. We're 3 to 4 points off the other top 4 teams. I think that's going to be tough. City won the league last season with 91 points. So if you take that, that'd be 66-point delta. We still have 25 matches to go. That's picking up over 2.5 points on average per game from now until the end of the season. Do you really think this team is going to essentially win 20 matches from here on out? I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that would be highly impressive if this young team would go on a run like that. I got to pull up the average age again of what we have in the last few matches because again, it's been crazy. We're still a young team. I know some of the matches we've had a little bit of an older squad just on, some players that we've had and stuff like that. But let's look at the last few matches here real quick. Shout out to SofaScore for making this so much easier. And I'm only going to the Premier League because I think a lot of you know, right, that when we play in the Conference League, it's anyone up there. So for Arsenal, we were 22.8 years young. Arsenal were 25.5. Against Leicester City, our average age was 23 and a half. They were 25 and a half. And then most recently against Aston Villa, I think this is a good one. We were 23.3 years to their 27.1. So look, you're talking 22.8 to 23 and a half. It's a young squad. Like Premier League 2, PL2 used to be U23. It's now U21. But that just shows you not that long ago that England and Europe still consider that to be an academy team, a youth team. So that's where we're at. The people skewing that is obviously going to be Cucurella at 26, Joao Felix at 25, which again, we're really talking about 25, 26-year-olds, and Sanchez 27. Everybody else is under 23 at that point in terms of the Leicester match. Let's see, Villa. Yeah, I mean, look, Neto and Sancho are 24, but that's still nothing. The old boys on the field are still Sanchez and Cuckoo. And then against Arsenal, when we were our youngest, Sanchez and Cucurella, both 26 at the time. So Neto 24, but other than that, young, and starting to thrive. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. I think you're way too early to talk about the title contenders. I just don't think we're mature enough in our project compared to other teams. Get through this really, really great run of fixtures, these next 8 fixtures. If you can win 6, draw 1, lose 1, I think you're going to come on the other side of Boxing Day and the holiday schedule, festive fixtures, in a really good spot. So give me your prediction. I'm going to say we finished 3rd this season. Let me know what you have in the comments, and we'll circle back to this video at the end of May. So until next time, trust me and do what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.